everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having a truly amazing weekend. There's not a lot been going on in the chicken and garden update, but go and watch it if you are so inclined. But we're here now to talk about our Sunday musing. And the weather in the last couple of weeks has been a little wet at times. And for those who don't know, I live up in the mountains. And so we get a lot of fog. And so that affects our visibility very often in the morning. I know today we were filming some chase shots or some roller shots with the Audi Q8 e-tron that we've got on review for the second time. The first time we had it, unfortunately, we had heavy snow, and that was when I wrote off my original F-150 Lightning. So we were able to get it again for the review purpose. So there's a review on that coming very shortly. But I've been doing a lot of driving, right? And last week I had to make a trip into Portland, which meant I was driving through the rush hour. And then this past weekend I did some tripping around the area. And I realised that after having, generally nice summer weather, where I was able to hand over control of the vehicle I was driving to the semi-autonomous driver assistance systems that we have in our vehicles. For those who don't know, we have a comma system in our Chevrolet Bolt EV. It's running Frog Pilot, which is a branch of Open Pilot, and that allows our Chevrolet Bolt to have the approximation of FSD supervised. If you click certain options, you can have it pull away from stoplights and traffic lights. I prefer not to, because I'm not ready to hand over control of the vehicle in that large a degree, and I would much rather remain in control most of the time. But it can, do hands-off, eyes up driving, so it will help you steer, it'll help you brake. And of course, my F-150 Lightning has Blue Cruise, which again is a hands-off, eyes-up system on certain roads. But the last two times I made a sizable trip anywhere in either vehicle, we had a fair amount of moisture on the road. And so I remained in control of both of the vehicles when I was driving them. And it happened twice, once with the Bolt and once with the F-150 Lightning. And as I was driving, I was like, I realised how much I was doing in terms of driving work, and then made myself think, I wonder how many people, when the weather is bad, actually take over control of their vehicle, or do they push the boundary of risk? Do they cede control to their vehicle at points where the manufacturer's like, you really should be driving right now? Whether it is an add-on system like the comma AI system, or whether it's something like Tesla Autopilot or Tesla Full Self-Driving Supervised. At what point do you go, no, I'd like to be the one to drive? Now, there are two different camps. Kate's got a very excellent video coming next week where she's going to be talking tangentially about autonomous vehicles and autonomous vehicle safety, and there's been some new data that come out that suggests that we are now starting to see that semi-autonomous and autonomous vehicle safety is, really increasing compared to meat sack drivers. And so there is definitely some arguments to be made that wherever possible, the computer should be driving rather than us. But we're also seeing, and we continue to see, examples of these systems failing, whether it is a system reacting badly to a sudden change in light on a road surface caused by a shadow from a tree, or whether it's, the classic phantom braking where the car thinks something's going to happen that doesn't. Or whether it's just, the car losing sight of where the lanes are and deciding that it needs to go in one direction when it really needs to go in another. And I've been in many different types of electric vehicle and types of car that have been using level 2/3 autonomy, where it doesn't matter if it's Ford, GM, Tesla, they've all had moments where they've gone, oh no, I should be going over here, and actually they should be going over there. That's not to say that I think these systems are bad, but I think that all of the manufacturers of the systems that are in use today all say, hey, you should only be using these under ideal conditions. Let's not forget that there are investigations right now into Ford Blue Cruise. There are investigations into Tesla's autopilot full self-driving, primarily concerning nighttime and reduced visibility performance. Now, specifically with Tesla, which uses vision-based sensors, right? It doesn't have a whole lot of other sensor systems to rely on. In fact, the newest Teslas don't use those systems, and the latest iterations of full self-driving turn off those sensors in older cars that might still have those sensors embedded in them. Ford's system does use a blend of sensors. Comma, of course, the Comma AI system does generally use mostly visual-based systems. And so the question then becomes, if the car is relying on visual-based systems and we are relying on the car to be able to see when we can't, can the car see any better than we can if it's using the same kind of visual-based sensors? Now, if you are into software and hardware, you might go, yes. A lot of camera sensors now have incredible dynamic range. They may be able to detect and see things in ways that we humans can't, especially if you're using a broader spectrum of light sensing technology that goes beyond the visible spectrum. But I wonder how many of us are actually going, you know what? I think this is at the limit of this system and I'm going to take over, versus, no, it will be fine. I'll let my car drive. Because, like I said, I think a lot of automakers are very, very specific and prescriptive about when these systems should be used and when they shouldn't be. And I've seen again and again and again and again examples of people using those systems at times when it's beyond what the automaker said they should be used or how they should be used. And does that put other road users at risk when you do that? Or are you, as a user, just pushing the envelope and going, the next logical step down the path? I can see it both ways. Personally, when I can't see well, I'm using the system as a backup for me. I'm not using the system as the main safety driver. I'm using me as the main driver, and then that system kind of there making sure that I didn't do anything silly. When the weather's nice, sometimes I let the vehicle do the majority of the driving, and I am there to make sure the vehicle doesn't do anything silly. But when the weather gets bad, when the conditions get bad, and there's snow, ice, rain, all of those conditions where you're not supposed to use these systems for various reasons, I think I either will turn it off completely, or I will be the manual driver and do the manual driving and rely on those passive and active safety systems to step in if there's something that's needed. But I know that I'm not alone in that, but I also know that not everyone follows that same path. So let me know what your approach is in the comments below. If the weather is bad, if the conditions are poor, do you trust your car to do the driving for you, or are you taking over manual control? And tell me why you are making the decision you are making, because I would be very, very interested to know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me today, and if you've got some thoughts, make sure you leave them in our Discord chat room, our Patreon page, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are some of the more than 1,500 people who help fund this channel through Patreon and YouTube, covering our bills, paying our team, and making sure that we can remain 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. There are a range of different tiers that you can sign up for, from as little as $1 a month, or if you pay yearly, just over $10 a year. A huge welcome to our newest supporters: Alan Brim, Jim, Sarah Horlock, full name, Todd Johnson, Roderick, Stuart Despain, Rupert Ronson, Larry Phoenix, Darla, Wendy Kelly Bundenbaum, and Kay. To join the list and get your shout out, become a paid Patreon member for your moment of fame. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll also find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have a good old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at, address also linked below. And of course, if you're in need of some swag, you'll find our swag store in the down below. Don't forget that Halloween is coming and we've got some great designs for the season. We've also got some great content coming up, so make sure you're subscribed on PeerTube or YouTube, and we'll see you soon. We make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we also think this one is well worth a look. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving!